Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. In today's video, we're driving into one of the most shocking valuable coin in UK numismatic history. The 2p coin debuted on February 15, 1971, during the UK's shift to the decimal currency system. Early versions bore the reverse inscription New Pence and featured the Prince of Wales's badge, 3 ostrich feathers, and motto, Ich Dien, with Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. Updated to a segment of the Royal Shield by Matthew Dent. Obverse redesign followed with Jody Clark's portrait in 2015, originally bronze, 1971 to 1992, then transitioned to copper-plated steel due to cost. A small batch of bronze coins also produced in 1998. The 1917 British 1-penny coin, King George V, with Britannia on the reverse, to give you a visual reference, features a bare-headed King George V facing left, with the inscription, George's V-Day Gra, Brit, OMN, Rex FID, Def, IND, AMP, Latin for George V, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. Reverse depicts Britannia seated with a trident, shield, and helmet, with 1 penny flanking her and the date 1917 below. Specs: bronze composition, weight 9.4 g, diameter 30.8 mm, minted in London, over 107 million minted, making it a very common issue, widely circulated during World War I and beyond. Many survive today in varying grades. VG very good, pound 0.50. F fine, pound 1.50. VF very fine, pound 3. EF extremely fine, pound 15. About uncirculated, pound 30. Uncirculated mint state, pound 45 plus. Mid-range VF, EF, often valued pound 3, pound 15. Uncirculated examples can fetch pound 40, 60 from dealers. Here's a curated selection of some of the rarest and most valuable British coins, spanning centuries and remarkable histories. Exceptional high-value coins. Edward VIII Gold Sovereign, 1937 pattern. Created but never circulated due to his abdication. Extremely rare. One sold for over £1 million, or $2.28 million. Victoria, Una and the Lion, £5 gold, 1839. A striking coronation coin with iconic design. Few were minted. Auction records around £1 million plus. Vigo Bay 5 Guinea, Queen Anne 1703. Struck from gold captured during the Battle of Vigo Bay. Fewer than 20 exist. Auction values very high. Charles II Petition Crown, 1663. Trial piece with unique inscription. Only one exists. Sold for £200k plus. Edward III Florin, 1344. Extremely rare. One sold for £500,000. George III 5 guineas, 1773, gold. Only £450,000. Other notable rare coins. 1933 George V penny. Only a handful were struck for foundation stone ceremonies, not circulated. Extremely collectible. Suffragette pennies, 1913 to 14. Pre-decimal pennies hand-stamped with votes for women by suffragettes. Only 10, 11 known. 1945 silver threepence. Melting decree resulted in very few survivals. One sold for £62,000 in 2020. 1,000-year-old hoard, 1066 to 68. William I and Harold II. Recently unearthed. Hoard valued at $5.6 million. Now museum display. Modern rare circulating coins. 2009 Kew Gardens 50p. Only 210,000 minted. Now worth £150, $250 plus, depending on condition. 2011 Edinburgh City £1. Sold for up to £23, 95 times face value. 1954 1 penny. Experimental. Queen Elizabeth II. Almost never circulated. Could be worth £100,000 to £1 million. Other rare 50p commemoratives and errors. Olympic Aquatics 50p. Worth £2,000 of error. Other 50p rarities like Atlantic salmon also valuable. Coins like the 1917 penny were mass-produced and circulated. Modern rare issues like 1954 experimental coins or pattern issues never entered general circulation. Condition matters. Value is highly grade dependent, where it dramatically lowers price. Coins associated with historical events, Vigo Bay, suffragette movement, often command premiums beyond rarity. Coin type era/issue rarity/notes value range. 1917 George V penny common high surviving numbers 0.50 pounds to 60 pounds, grade dependent. 1933 George V penny rare foundation stone issue, very high, collector demand. Suffragette penny rare, 10 known significant due to historical tie. 1945 silver threepence rare melted most. Few left pound 62,000. Edward VIII gold sovereign extremely rare pattern issue. Abdication related pound 1.6 million plus. Una and Lion Victoria 5 pounds rare coronation issue, pound 1 million. Vigo Bay 5 Guinea rare battle associated gold issue, very high auction. Edward III florin rare medieval gold issue. Only few exist, pound 500k. George III 5 guineas rare few survivors, pound 450k plus. Kew Gardens 50p moderate limited mintage, popular pound 150, 250 plus. 1954 experimental 1p ultra rare internal trial coin 100,000 pounds to 1 million pounds. British coinage evolved across eras, medieval, Tudor/Stuart, Victorian, modern, pre-decimal, decimal. Circulating coins like pennies and farthings were everyday use, whereas pattern or trial coins, Edward VIII 1954 penny, were produced in tiny numbers, often never circulated. Most were minted in London, though some, like King George V sovereigns, were also minted in Sydney, Australia, and shared across the empire. The 1917 George V penny is a historical artifact with modest value, unless in brilliant, uncirculated condition. By contrast, truly rare British coins, especially those tied to dramatic reign changes, limited mint runs, or special events, can fetch hundreds of thousands or even millions of pounds at auction. Coin collecting is a fascinating blend of art, history, and economics, where each coin tells a story, sometimes worth a fortune. The 1938 British one-penny coin featuring King George VI, specifically the obverse's portrait, as seen above. This coin belongs to pre-decimal British penny series minted during the reign of King George VI, 1936 to 1952, with the George VI era design introduced in 1937, replacing the earlier one from Edward VIII. The 1938 penny was struck at the London Mint, with a substantial mintage of approximately 121.56 million. Material, bronze. Weight, 9.4 g. Diameter, 30.8 mm. Edge, smooth/plain. Obverse, King George VI facing left, legend reading George of 6D. G, BR, OMN, Rex F laughing face, IND, Latin, George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. Designer, Humphrey Paget. Reverse, seated Britannia holding a trident and shield, with a lighthouse in background, flanked by one in penny, date and exurg. The 1938 penny circulated widely across the United Kingdom and the British Empire. During the early 1940s, World War II, production of pennies ceased for UK circulation, focusing instead on overseas issues. Post-World War II demand fell, and pennies were eventually phased out with decimalization in 1971. The pre-decimal farthing was demonetized earlier in 1961. Because of its high mintage, the 1938 penny is relatively common, and its value depends heavily on condition. Very good, VG pound 0.15. Fine, F pound 0.35. Very fine, VF pound 0.75. Extremely fine, EF pound 1.75. About uncirculated, AUNC pound 4. Uncirculated, UNC 6 pounds plus. Other sources suggest similar ranges, up to 50 to 60 pounds for high-grade uncirculated specimens. In USD estimates, values can be between 38 cents to $1.58. There are no known rare varieties or mint errors for the 1938 penny, unlike other dates, e.g. 1933 George V penny, 1952 George VI proof penny, which are extremely rare and highly valuable. The 1938 one penny captures an era marked by the early reign of King George VI. It reflects British resilience during turbulent interwar years, serving as everyday currency across the UK and Empire territories. Its imagery, Britannia and the King, symbolizes national identity and imperial legacy. Mintage, 121 million, produced in London, widely circulated with bronze composition. Standard specs, 9.4 G, 30.8 mm. No minting in several early 1940s years due to wartime priorities. Post-war coin demand declined, leading to eventual phase-out. King's Bear Portrait Pageant and Seated Britannia, iconic reverse, are hallmark designs. Britannia holds a trident/shield. Lighthouse in reverse alludes to Britain's nautical heritage. Inscriptions affirm sovereignty, King of all the Britons, and religious briefly colonial title, Emperor of India. Grading ranges from heavily worn, VG/F, up to pristine uncirculated, which significantly affects value. Handling and storage tips. Hold by edges. Use gloves. Store in protective coin holders to prevent tarnish. Preserve value over time. As a common date, typical circulated pieces are budget-friendly, tens of pence. Highly graded uncirculated examples might fetch £6, £60 depending on exact grade. However, they remain modest in collectible worth compared to rarities like the 1933 or 1952 proof pennies. Its appeal lies in historical context, aesthetic design, and representing a defined period in British coinage. Collectors interested in completing George VI penny sets will value it, especially in higher grades. For general investors, value gains are modest. For rare high-end coins, one must look at much rarer dates and proof issues. The 1938 George VI penny is a well-struck, historically meaningful British coin. Common, but beloved for its design and era. In everyday grades, it's affordable. In mint state, especially uncirculated, it earns modest premium. While not among the rarest, it remains a cherished piece for numismatic collections encapsulating pre-decimal Britain. The 2 pence coin was introduced on February 15, 1971 as part of the UK's transition to decimal currency, known as Decimal Day. Initially minted in bronze, the rising cost of metal prompted the Royal Mint to switch to copper-plated steel in September 1992, rendering the coin magnetic. The obverse front features Queen Elizabeth II's third bust, third portrait, by Raphael David Macklouf, with the inscription Elizabeth II di Gireggii 1996. The reverse back displays the Prince of Wales's feathers emblem with the motto ICH Dain and 2 pence with the numeral 2. Although these coins remain in circulation today, they are legal tender only up to 20p for 1p and 2p coins. The 2 pence is the second lowest denomination in British decimal currency, following the now abolished halfpenny, demonetized in 1984. In 1996, approximately 296.3 million copper-plated steel 2 pence coins were minted, making it a common issue. Mint sets and proof variants. A number were produced for collectors. 86,501. Proof FDC, 67,581. Silver proof, Silver Anniversary Collection 15,000. The silver proof version, made of actual silver, not copper-plated steel, is notably rare and intended for collectors, not circulation. With high mintage, typical values are modest, around 14 to 38 cents depending on condition, from good to extremely fine. Another source lists XF extremely fine, US 15 cents, UNC uncirculated, US $1.75, BU brilliant uncirculated, US $2.50. Silver proof variant, significantly more valuable for collectors. Estimated value from Numista, around $12 for an uncirculated condition. One source suggests up to £15 sterling for a pristine, uncirculated proof, but not tens or hundreds of pounds. Though the 1996 2 pence is plentiful, certain errors across years can command high premiums. New Pence, 1983 error. Some 1983 coins mistakenly retain the old New Pence inscription rather than 2 pence. These rare error coins have sold for over £1,000. Silver-colored error, silver 2p. Some 2 pence coins were struck on a copper nickel or nickel-plated steel blank, the same material used for 10 pence coins, resulting in a silver appearance. These rare errors have sold for between £800 to £1,350. General mint errors. Anything from misstrikes, planchet flaws, or die issues can create collectible pieces, but these are independent of the 1996 copper-plated steel variety. Coin type composition mintage/availability typical value. Circulated collector value proof/silver. 1996 2p circulation. Copper-plated steel 296 million common. 14 to 38 cents / $0.15. $1.75 not applicable. 1996 proof FDC copper-plated steel proof 67,581. Up to £15 / $12. 1996 silver proof SAC silver non-circulating 15,000 around $12 Numismatics. 1983 New Pence error bronze 1983 extremely rare £500 to £1,400 plus depending on condition. Silver colored 2p error copper nickel / Ni steel rare £800 to £1,350 plus depending on condition. The standard 1996 2 pence coin is a commonplace coin with modest value in circulation, typically just face value or a little above depending on condition. Collector interest mainly centers on the proof issues, especially the silver variant, which carry a premium, though still modest, around £12 to £15. The true high-value pieces are error coins, primarily from 1983, or rare material anomalies like the silver-colored 2p, though these aren't found in the 1996 regular issues. If you have specific coins you'd like to evaluate, for instance, certifiable proof or suspected error types, it's best to consult a reputable coin dealer or the British Numismatic Trade Association for authentication and accurate valuation. Around 531.6 million 2p coins were minted in 1994, made from copper-plated steel, making them common and widely circulated in circulated condition. These coins are only worth their face value or slightly more as novelty. Uncirculated UNC pieces from mint sets may fetch a few pounds, e.g. £2.50 to £10. Brilliant uncirculated BU set coins sold for around £9.95. Proof coins, highly polished strike, priced at £12.95. Error coins. While the 1994 2p is generally common, rare minting errors can dramatically increase value. Silver 2p errors, accidentally struck on cupidicule blanks. Similar errors fetch between £800 to over £1,300. New Pence inscription errors from 1983, but sometimes misdated, known to sell for £500 to £700 or more. Because the 1994 version isn't associated with these known error types, unless you've discovered a truly unique mistake, e.g. composition inscription, the coin remains common. The British decimal 2 pence coin entered circulation on February 15, 1971 as part decimalization. The reverse initially displayed the Prince of Wales's feathers and motto, ICH Dying. In 2008, this was changed to part of the Royal Shield design. Metal transition. From 1971 to 1992, coins were made of bronze. From 1992 onward, including 1994, they became copper-plated steel due to rising copper costs. Current circulation. Despite design updates, 2p coins from all years, including 1994, remain legal tender up to 20p in such coins and continue to circulate alongside newer designs. Geography. These coins circulated primarily within the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. With UK diaspora and travel, 1994 2p coins may appear elsewhere, but they remain a UK-specific coin. Circulated. Shows where scratches, potentially dull to dark brown. Uncirculated. UNC/BUNC crisp detail. Mint luster intact. Usually from sealed mint packs. Proof. Highest quality mirror-like finish. Struck with specially polished dies. Error/variety. Unique minting anomalies, e.g. wrong metal misinscription. Circulated. Common sales around a few dollars or under £5. UNC/BUNC mint pack coins. Sold for £2 and 50 pence each, or bulk discounts down to £1.75 to £2. Proof examples. Sold at premium, e.g. £12 and 95 pence. Errors. Exceptionally rare and high value. Hundreds of more than £1,000. By 2014, an estimated 6.55 billion 2p coins were in circulation, highlighting how common they are. Legal tender only for amounts up to 20p, making heavier use in small daily purchases or piggy banks rather than large settlements. Mintage 531.6 million, 1994. Common. Composition copper-plated steel, post 1992. Design obverse. Queen Elizabeth II, third portrait by Maclouf. Reverse. Prince of Wales plume by Ironside. Circulation UK-wide. Still legal tender. Circulated for everyday use. Typical value circulated. Face value. UNC. 2 to 10 pounds. Proof. £13. Rare errors wrong metal, silver cupronickel, or misinscription new pence can fetch hundreds over £1,000. A note on old coin and men coin, possibly referring to Maundy tuppence. It seems you might also be interested in old or Maundy tuppence coins. 1994 Maundy 2 pence, a special ceremonial coin struck for the Maundy service. Very limited mintage of 1,433. Though of similar denomination, this coin is a distinct commemorative issue, not meant for general circulation. The 1994 British 2p coin is a common circulated coin with minimal collector value, unless found in mint condition, UNC or proof, where prices reach but typically remain under £15. Truly valuable exceptions come from mint errors, rare mishaps during production, that can dramatically increase worth. For all collectors, if you suspect you found a rare error, it's best to have it professionally graded or appraised. Browse collected marketplaces like eBay, auction houses, or consult numismatics for further insights.